Hi, I'm Colin from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is the handover of the 2015 Auto Trail Tracker EKS. So as we start, we'll walk around on the driver's side of the vehicle first. The first point you get to is your grey wastewater. So this is anything you've put down a plug hole, goes into a separate holding tank, and then all you need to do is drive over the service pitch on the way out of the site for motorhomes and simply open the valve. This is just the water we've been testing your vehicle with, so I'll let that drain. And then here you have your mains connectivity point. So you get your hookup lead, lift the collar on here, lift the flap, slide the collar over the top and push on like so. And then if you press this blue lever in the left hand corner when unhooking, to unhook the vehicle. But we always advise when hooking the vehicle, put the motorhome in first, then walk to the live side, which is on your post or at your house if you're charging at home. Then obviously unhook the house first or the point, and then unhook the motorhome and do it in reverse when unhooking the vehicle. You have to lift this cover off by just pushing a bit of pressure here and peeling it off. Lift this cover off when heating the water on gas. Should this cover be left on, it will not light, it will come up with a red light, but this is only for when heating the water on gas. You can leave it on when heating the water on electric, and when travelling just put it back on like so to stop the inside of the vent getting dirty. You've got your external shower point here, so you'd connect your bullfinch connection in on there, and you'll have a trigger gun on the other end of the hose, and you can turn it from off to cold or to hot. Obviously, if you've got to have the boiler on for hot water, it's not just instant. So, but this is great for hosing down the dogs, the kids when they've been on the beach, or the bikes. Here you have your locker for your cassette loo. So this opens with a round-headed key. Does all the locks. So if you just push both of them in together like so, opens the door, and then what you need to do is ensure that the blade is in the closed position, otherwise you'll not be able to lift and slide it out. You've got a handle so you can drag it to your site to empty, which is normally behind or beside your toilet block, showering block when full, so it's not heavy. And then to empty, you'd simply turn here, take the cap off, press this button at the back, tip to about 90 degrees and empty. Once you've emptied it off, there's normally a tap there. If you put some water in via the spout, give it a rinse, so give it another shake, give it a rinse, tip out again. Then if you're using the chemical in the liquid form, cap full straight into here, and it's good to go back into the vehicle. Or if you're using the tablet form, which is a new concept just for saving a bit of space, they're like a dishwasher tablet. They're in a cellophane. You put a pint of water into the cassette, and then you drop one straight into here, and then put it back into the vehicle. So once you push it back into the vehicle, you'll hear it clicks, this goes down and locks into position. Here you've got your travel drain, and they are blue, so this is fresh water drain off. So you turn these, obviously one will do 50% of water, the other one will do another 50%. So when winter arrives, then you have to open them both to eliminate all the water that's in the vehicle. So this is fresh water. So i.e. if you're taking on any contaminated water or you're draining off for the winter, open both to allow all the water out. But if you did want to just free up a bit of space, or you wanted to free up a bit of weight for storage, you can just open one, and that'll let out half of the fresh water capacity. Here you have another locker which opens with the West alloy key. So you turn them both, and what you can do is just lift it up, and you've got storage throughout the back of the vehicle. There's your own unwinding handle in there, so this is a great place to put leveling ramps, hooker bleeds, any wellies, any shoes that you don't mind. Outdoor shoes can go in here, tables, chairs, all in there, so you've got a bit of storage in the back. And then that just locks like so. Coming to the back of the vehicle, you've got your high level brake light and reverse camera. And then under here is where the spare wheel lives. So using the round headed key, you put that in, take this panel off, there's a big nut, take that off, this lifts off the whole wheel cover off, and there's a spare wheel living under there as well. Coming to the passenger side of the vehicle at the back, you've got your external gas point. So instead of carrying a separate bottle to power a Kadak or a barbecue, you can just connect into here. So it's a red, it's in your cutlery drawer actually, it's a red bullfinch connection. Connect there, you'll need some rubber, orange gas hosing and some Jubilee clips to connect the fitting to the pipe, and then the pipe to the Kadak or external barbecue or gas appliance. This is your freshwater filler, so this is where you'd fill up. So I'd advise you to go and buy a hose pipe and some hose connections. This is just a brass tap on most sites, so you'll need the hose lock and the screw on for the tap, the thread. Taking this off, you can put the hose into there, wait until it overflows, or you can see inside how much water is in your freshwater tank. And obviously it is lockable as well, so when it spins it's locked. When you can push it in and you can feel it's moving, it's open. You can also lock the habitation door manually with this little key here, but it is central locking, so it's a lot easier. And then on the central locking, the step will also come out as well, and then you lock it, it hides away. You've got some storage in here, so this is just storage underneath the long bench seat. So there's your shower hose, your umbrella, your winter covers for your fridge vents, and you've got a plug here, so if you wanted to power something outside you can just connect into there. And then this is your gas locker, so LPG, liquid petroleum gas. So with these, what happens is when they're popped out like so, you just turn them and you can open it, but the lock, you do half a turn, make sure it's shut, and then you can push it in and it locks, and when it's pushed in it's locked. Half a turn, lock pops out, and then a full turn and it's open. And then in here, the last customer has previously fitted a gasset system, which is similar to LPG, so it's a refillable bottle. So you would fill through here, so it's a bayonet fitting. So you go to your local LPG centre, normally most service stations have them, put it on, turn the front of the nozzle and pull the clip back on the trigger gun, and then press the button on the digital display on the pump itself, and you'll see it fill until it stops, and then there about it will be full. And this should take about £20 to fill, so it's quite a good system. Turn on and off your bottles from the top here on both, and you can see on there that they're both in the green, so they're both showing full. And you've got a changeover valve, so the little nib here is on this bottle here, so this is the bottle that is currently being used. Turn it to the other bottle, it's on this bottle. But obviously if this was turned off like so, this will change in time to red, as it isn't picking up any gas. And then should that ever go red when the gas is open, it means the bottle's empty. So that's just indicating as well. Coming to the passenger door, you do have your diesel filler, which opens with the main Fiat key to drive the engine. Fill with diesel through there. And then on the slam panel of the passenger door, you've got your tyre pressure, so 5.5 bar, which is equivalent to 79.5 psi. Your toolkit's in here underneath the seat, so this has got everything you need to change the wheel, be towed away. So it's got jack and a brace, tow and eye, and a screwdriver. And underneath the floor, you do have your engine battery. Bonnet release is on the side of the passenger dashboard, so if I just have a quick look underneath there, I'll show you what you need to know. So you've got all your fluids this side. So the main one you're going to need screen wash. Then this cover lifts off and you can fill your power steering fluid and radiator coolant. You've got your brake fluid there, so you can fill that as well from the top. Oil filler and dipstick. Paint codes on here. And then should you ever need to jump start, you'd earth on here. And then if you just put your key in here and lift this up, you can put your positive on there. Weight plates here, so don't go off this, go off Auto Trail. It's been had a second stage conversion, so it's 3.5 ton gross vehicle weight, so you can drive it on a standard car license. If you were to tow anything, you can tow a train weight not exceeding 4,750 kilograms. Once inside the vehicle, above your habitation door, you have your main 12 volt control panel. So this is where you turn on all the electric for the vehicle from. So you've got your on off switch here. Put your lever, turn on 12 volt if you aren't hooked up, or if you are hooked up to mains electric via the electric hookup, you will have 240 volts for all the 3-pin plugs throughout the vehicle. Next to it you've got your power transfer button. So basically when this is off, the whole motorhome is using the leisure battery. When you turn it on, it transfers it to the vehicle battery, and this is only for emergencies, but I wouldn't advise using it because if you leave it on that and flatten the engine battery, you'll not be able to start the vehicle and continue on your trips. Underneath you've got the pump, so you must have the pump on should you be using anything to do with water, so taps, toilet, shower. Otherwise you'll get whatever's left in the line and then it will simply just fade away. And then you've got your awning light, which is the light on the outside of the vehicle. This little screen here, if you use the arrows, you can go up and down. So there it's telling you you've got 25% of fresh water on board, 25% full of wastewater, which is just the water we've tested the vehicle with. The battery current, so this is the current currently coming off the battery. Your solar, so your solar kind of goes to sleep when the electric hookup is present, as it's bringing in the bigger voltage. Your external temperature, your tank heaters are off, but if you want to turn them on, you just press here and you can turn them on. This is for when it's going to potentially freeze overnight. You can put this on when the vehicle's in use, and it'll put some power through the probes, which then puts power through the water to stop the water from freezing. And then you've got clocks and alarm settings there, so you can set an alarm should you have a ferrety catch or you want to be waking up early. You can set this, it'll start beeping to let you know. And then right there is your serial number for the control panel and your leisure battery reading. Coming to this side, you've got your Truma Boiler, so there's heating water on gas. So you've got off in the middle on the O, up to 50 degrees of heating your water. You'd use 50 for showering, and then if you push down you've got 70 degrees. You can use this for doing your dishes. The cover must come off the outside of the vehicle to use this side, as it's a gas, so it's a flue, so it needs to circulate the emissions out the side of the vehicle. If the cover was to stay on, you'll get a little red light in the bottom corner, which either means you've left your cover on or your gas isn't turned on or you've run out of gas. Got your light switches here for in the living area, so one there and the other one is behind me under here. And then this side you've got your Truma Ultra Heat on 230 volts, so if you're on site you might not want to waste your gas. You might want to heat the vehicle off electric because you've paid your site fees, and to do so, again, O is off. You've got 2000, which is equivalent to 2 kilowatts. 1 to 9 is your thermostat. 9 is equivalent to 30 degrees of heat. You go down to off, you've got half a kilowatt, which is 500 watts, or you've got 1000, which is 1 kilowatt. On most sites you can use 2 kilowatts, but abroad, or if you're drawing too much power, so you're powering the kettle and it's tripping the vehicle at the same time, you may want to just turn this down to either 1 kilowatt or half a kilowatt. That's how to heat the vehicle on electric, that's how to heat the water on gas. So now in the kitchen area, you've got your 3 lit gas rings and 1 electric hot plate on mains electric only, which is a far left hand side, and it illuminates by the red light. And then underneath you've got your grill, and underneath there you do have your oven as well, which I've just... You may want to take this out when travelling or wrap it up, but always make sure the back two lugs go at the back of the oven, as they are designed to stop the burner from being blocked by any food substance. It just stores away like so. Allow this to cool before you put the glass lid down, because it can shatter with the heat. And then above you've got your plate rack holder, and you've got some more storage and your grill pans in there. It's just showing that your water pump's working and the water's getting the temperature there as it's getting nice and warm. And then behind, to operate your windows, you just loosen the levers off, push out, and then turn. Turn the black wheels to tighten the strut and keep the window out. So you need to do that on both sides, and you can keep the window out in place. Always make sure it's securely shut before travelling. Same with your skylights and all your doors. And then you do have a fly screen for when it's open, and a blackout blind, and then to depart, you just unclip it and push away. Under the cooker you have a storage space for pots and pans. You've got a plug for your electric hookup for the hot plate, so that's your main plug for the hot plate from the electric hookup. You've got your water pump and you've got your gas taps. So your microwave is a 240 800 watt microwave. So you just press eco to wake. So you've got to be hooked up for this to work. And then this panel you just push in, push out, and you've got your draining board. So that can sit anywhere on your sink, either covering the sink, or you can have it the other way and be resting dishes on there. Underneath you've got some worktop space, some points for a telly, so you've got 240 volt, 12 volt and aerial socket, and then this switch is just a dimmer switch, so if you just press and hold it can dim these lights down, as you can see now. So on, or you can just press once and it will come on to the brightest setting. Underneath you've got your storage for your table, which is just like you're putting an ironing board up. You can put that at the front, or you can put that outside if it's a nice day. And you've got storage on the other side of the fridge. To work your Dometic styled fridge, you've got on and off here, so you just press and hold. So there it's gone off, there it's come back on. And you've got three sources, so you've got mains hookup, which looks like the hookup plug. So this is when you are hooked up to mains 240 volt power. You've got gas, so make sure your gas bottle's turned on, you've got enough gas in the system, and it'll self-ignite. So you'd use this if you're wild camping, meaning you didn't have any 240 volt hookup present. Obviously you'd use hookup if you were on a site. You wouldn't want to waste your gas if you've paid for your electric on your site. And then the battery is off the engine battery. When the engine is running, the alternator sends a feed to the fridge, and it basically keeps the fridge at the same temperature it was when departing. So the idea here is that you hook the fridge up a day or two before, allow it to chill the night before you put your shopping in, if you're lucky enough to keep it at home. Or if it's at the storage yard, you might want to just put your gas on the night before, put your shopping in, allow it to chill overnight, and then when you do start travelling, just put it on a battery. It'll fail now because the engine's not running, but as soon as the engine's turned over, it will send a feed and keep it the same temperature. So basically it turns it into a cool box. You've got your temperature this side, obviously 5 bars being the coldest, and this is just your reset button. In here is your freezer box, and below you've got your fridge. And then once you've finished with the vehicle for a month, or you're putting it into storage, winterizing the vehicle for 3 or 4 months over the winter, what you need to do is you need to clear the fridge out, give it a wipe out with some antibacterial. Then what you don't want to do is close the door, as it forms an airtight seal. And all that fresh, clean fridge is going to become a mouldy, dirty fridge. So what you need to do is, on the light here there's a little toggle. Push the toggle in and slide it forward. These 2 tabs come out, and what that does is it stops the door from shutting. As you can see, you can get your fingers right down there, so air circulation will get in and out of the fridge. To operate your toilet, obviously make sure the pump's on because it needs to flush. Pressing the blue button at the back, the fan will kick in first, and when it's flashing you just need to press it till it goes to a solid light, and that stops the extractor fan. Press the button like so, you'll hear it now. So there you've got your flush. What you need to do is always flush the toilet first, then open the blade, which is slide to the right. Use the toilet with the blade open, flush the toilet, and then slide to the left, which isolates the blade and the cassette and allows you to get it out from the outside of the vehicle. Should you not be able to get it from the outside of the vehicle, it means that the blade has been left in the open position or isn't shut fully. But always flush first, as it lubricates the blade, and then open, and everything will go into the cassette and there'll be no mess. On here you'll get more than 1 green light when the cassette is full and requires to be changed. You've got a toiletry cabinet here and a toiletry cabinet above, and on the side of that is where the bathroom light is. Just showing you water pump working, and that the water is very hot now. As you can see, the steam coming off it. And then in the shower, your shower screens are just magnetic, so you just need to push them open. You've got a towel reel there for hanging wet towels, but also if you put a few hangers on here, if you've been caught in the rain walking the dog or out for a walk, obviously you can put your coats in there and they'll drip dry in the shower, go through into the waste, and then obviously you can use the shower head to get the mud and things off them if they were muddy or sandy. One thing with the shower head is when you're winterizing, if you unscrew the shower head from the hose and allow the hose to lie in the shower tray and leave all the mixer taps open in the middle position throughout the vehicle, so bathroom, hand basin and sink mixer tap open, just to eliminate any water in the lines. It'll drain straight off and into the waste, which you'll have opened from the outside as well as the fresh. And then you'll open the boiler, which is further in the vehicle. To heat the vehicle on gas, so if you're wild camping, obviously to heat the water on gas is above the door, but to heat the actual vehicle on gas is here on the fire. So what you need to do is, this is the gas side indicated by the gas flame here, so you push 1 to 5, look through the little pilot hole, you'll see it raw, and in there you can see just there the blue little flame. So you've got 1 to 5 on there, which is the gas. Obviously if you're wild camping, you'll not want to use the fan that blows it round the vehicle through these ducting parts, which are in the bathroom, the front and back of the vehicle. You'll just want to let it convect out the front, as the fan will waste 12 volt power, and that's obviously something you want to preserve because you're wild camping and you can normally get 3 days off a fully charged leisure battery. So when it's on O in the middle, that means it's convecting out the front. But if you put on A, stands for automatic energy, stands for automatic, and what it does is it blows it around the various parts of the vehicle. There's a thermostat in the vehicle, and when the vehicle gets to temperature, it will cut out and then drops, it'll cut back in. But if you have it on A, which stands for manual, you will have to manually intervene when it gets too hot by either turning the temperature down. And obviously you can use this fan on electric as well as gas. And obviously if it was really cold, you can have the gas and electric on together, so you can have the switch above the door on and this. Obviously you will not want to waste your gas for too long, so you'll want to probably leave it on for 20 minutes of gas, then knock the gas off and allow the 240 volt mains power to bring the vehicle up to temperature and carry on. But like I was saying, M stands for manual, so you'll have to turn it on and off by yourself. And then you've got 1 to 5, which is just the fan speed. Obviously you turn it down on an evening, or you would just put it to convect out the front. But do just be careful that you don't catch yourself on this fire when it's convecting out the front, because it does get very hot. Above you've got your wardrobe, so you just press in here and you've got your wardrobe, your light comes on, hanging rail, and that's just access to the back of the fire should a technician need to be in. But the main part, so the boiler lives underneath here, so this is the main part and part of your winterization process. So what you do is, in here you have your boiler. This holds 10 litres of water at any one time. In the winter it's very important that you drain all the water out of the vehicle, as if water freezes in here it's very expensive to replace or repair, and it's not covered under warranty, as frost damage is not covered under any sort of warranty, as it's your responsibility. And you can see all the pipes are just plastic, so they would just split and expand and burst. So what you need to do is this yellow tap here, a toggle tap, when it's lying down like it is now, it is holding water. When you lift that up like so, it is draining all the water out of the vehicle directly underneath the chassis. So if it's parked on the drive, you'll get a lot of water out there, 10 litres of water. Once the 10 litres of water is out, leave it up. So when it is stored, leave it up in the position, open all the taps within the vehicle, the fresh and the waste from outside, which will eliminate any water build up and potentially bursting the pipes and freezing in the vehicle. So like I said, this in the up position, all the taps open and the 2 taps open outside. You've got some more gas taps here. These gas taps are just for when the vehicle is habitation serviced, to keep the warranties. The technician will test that the gas is working accordingly. Any problems with gas at all, turn the bottle off just to be safe. And then you've got a switch here. This is your electric switch for heating the water. The gas is above the door, so you've got 1 kilowatt at the top, which is equivalent to 40 degrees, off in the middle, and if you go down you've got 2 kilowatts, which is equivalent to 60 degrees. You've got storage underneath here, and then underneath that black cover there you can see the fuse popping out, 20 amp fuse. That is where your leisure battery lives. In the cupboard above your long bench seat on the driver's side, so these 2 cupboards are very important. I'll get onto this side in a minute. You've got your Tele Booster, so you've got a min and a max on the booster there, so should you be struggling to get a signal, obviously green shows you've got a signal, orange and red shows that you potentially have a signal but it's weak, red means you don't have a signal. So this is a status aerial. First of all, you'd loosen it off. If you are struggling to get a signal, you'd push the pole up through the vehicle and tighten, and use the toggle to direct the aerial on the top of the roof, so it'll just tip it from side to side and lean it over to get the best signal. Should you be struggling to get a signal on site, if you just look for where your other motorhomes and caravans are pointing, point yours in a similar direction and you should get a signal without having to mess on for too long. And then in here, first of all, you've got your build number, so this is a unique number to each Auto Trail motorhome. So should you need parts, if you quote that, we'll then quote that to Auto Trail and we'll find the best part for your vehicle. You've got a system shutdown button, so in the winter when you want to completely isolate the vehicle, this isolates the battery, and this is just imitated off the control panel above the door. You've got all your fuses here, so it would be good to carry some spares just in case one does blow. You can fix your issue when you're away and not let it ruin your holiday. And all the fuses are listed on here, what does what on circuits. You've got your space heater and your water heater and your charger there, so this is all on 240, so just leave them on. If you did want to turn your water heater off, say you've got no water in Obviously you can isolate it here before you isolate the switch, which is just down there, just for precaution. And then you do have your trips. So if the vehicle is tripped out, you put your RCD and your MCBs here. So try here before you try your side post. And you've got a USB for charging in there as well. So when making the bed, you've got two options with this table. You can put it into this position there, which is just by loosening this and tilting it over, so from flat to on its side. Or you can lift it out by loosening the bolt there and putting it in the cab. But to make the bed, what you do is you just slide them out. So slide it both into the middle, like so. You would then, I'll just put the camera down, what you would do is you would just remove your cushions, so your scatter cushions, push the base cushion back and use the backrest in the middle. So that's the way I'd do it, by pushing that back and putting the backrest in the middle. You can do it any way you want. You can do it the other way like this as well, by putting the backrest at the back. And there you have one large double bed. But what I'd advise is you turn everything upside down, as the backs of the cushions are a darker coloured fabric and they're more comfortable to sleep on because it's a flatter surface. To open the large skylight at the front, you just loosen the levers off the window and then wind. And this will open the large skylight. But just because it's over the cab doesn't mean you can travel with it open. It is just a plastic window. It will get ripped off by the wind. Please make sure it is shut, like all skylights and windows, and fastened down correctly. But you do have a blackout blind, or should I say a fly screen, and a blackout blind on the window there for on an evening. So now in the cab, so I'll go through the hand controls of the Fiat Ducato chassis. So you've got your handbrake to the right of the driver. You've got your electric windows and electric mirror adjustments. So you've got two adjustments on each side, the top and the bottom, which is the blind spot. If you pinch with your finger and thumb, slide it down like so. That's how you black out the passenger and driver's door on an evening. And then you've got the same style on the windscreen, so pinch again, slide into the middle, slide this one into the middle, and then if you just clip on like so. They are just magnetic, so if it's going to be windy, I'd advise putting a hair bubble or elastic band around here just to keep it shut. And then coming down to the hand controls, so to the right of the driver, you've got your headlight adjustment and your rear fogs. I'll get onto this in a minute. This is a category 1 alarm from Vodafone, a 4615 alarm, which I'll get onto in a minute, how to operate. You've got your wipers with your trip computer on the side here, so your thumb switch, so you can see your average speed, your travelling times, your consumption, your instant consumption, your range, and so on, all through there. You've got your lights and your indicators. Cruise control on the top, which brings on a little green button just in the bottom of the speedo. So to put the cruise control on, you get the speed and push up. Cancel with the brake, you can resume on the end or cancel here as well. Off, and then you've got your speed limiter. Pushing up slowly goes up in 1s, pushing and holding goes up in 5s. You do have the kick down function as well, so should you be set to 50 and you need to get around something, someone slammed the brakes on, or potentially can cause an accident, you could press and hold right at the floor and it will override the speed limiter. Voice command, volume, mute, hands free. This will go through your contacts, music and your radio channels. 6-speed manual gearbox with lift into reverse, brings on your rear reverse camera. This turns off your traction control. This is pretty much useless on a manual as it's designed for an automatic hill descent control. Hazards, locks the doors including the habitation door as it is a central lock-in, so it locks off the key or on here on an evening. You've got your heated mirrors and you've got two 12-volt sources here. Cup holders with auxiliary, so you've got USB and a 3.5 auxiliary jack there for the radio. Temperature on the outside ring and fan speed at least must be on a 1 or more for the aircon to work, which is this button here. You've got your distribution and whether you bringing fresh air in or recirculating air within the vehicle. To operate your head unit, so you've got FM and AM radio, so you can press 1 to 3 to save, or you can press all and save up to 12 of your favourite FM or AM stations. Media can be obviously CD, auxiliary or Bluetooth audio. You've got navigation on here, so it is TomTom, so you just go navigate to, and then you can put address in. Obviously I wouldn't advise putting your household address in if that's where you're going to store it, or set the go home function. Set it to somewhere that gets you near enough home, and then you can get yourself from there to your address. But just in case your motorhome is stolen, you don't really want them to know where you live. And obviously you've got points of interest if you mark any as well. Go into phone, you go to phone, settings, add phone, and you're looking for Uconnect, and you Uconnect on your phone. Make sure the pins match, which are 3, 4, 1, 9. Once it matches, press pair on your phone, pair on the head unit, and then on the phone it'll ask you if you want to allow your contacts to be saved. Press allow and it'll save all of them into the head unit. You've got volume here, on off. You can knock the screen off if you want, if you're on site and you don't want the glare on the night, and soon as you touch it, it comes back on. And then you can go to more and you can actually view the trips on here instead of through that little screen if you really wanted to. Glove box, and this glove box is heated and cooled by the air conditioning. So if you've got little bits in the summer, like little bottles of water, chocolate or sweets, put them in there. It saves you getting up and down to the fridge when on the road. And to operate the alarm, obviously you just lock the doors, which is the middle one. Top one opens the cab only, back one opens the habitation door only. So lock in the middle. It'll set the alarm. Obviously you've got ultrasonic sensors here, so one's emitting a signal and one's picking it up all the time. And if you move within the vehicle, you'll want to turn these off if you want to use it with you in the vehicle. Otherwise, if you did move within the vehicle and you didn't turn them off, your alarm would forever be going off. So I'll show you how to turn them off now. So you put your key in the ignition, put your ignition lights on, turn your ignition off. Within 6 seconds, press and hold. You see it flashing red light now. As soon as it stops flashing, your sensors have been turned off. So now you can leave the dog in if you want to pop out, or you can arm it with yourselves in and it shouldn't go off. Well, it won't go off. As soon as you put your ignition and start your engine back up, it goes back to default, and you will have to do this every time you stop. Or what you can do is, some of our customers cover these with a bit of electrician's tape there, just to stop them emitting a signal, so then you can lock it with a dog in and don't have to worry about if they've turned the sensors off.